Lobotomy Corporation is a fantastic game with tons of intrigue and lots to learn about in all the different abnormalities and characters you'll come across as you go through your playthrough. And as such, I'm going to have to do something that goes against all tenets of running a YouTube channel and say, if you've not played the game before, or if you've not heard of it, or if you're thinking of giving it a go yourself and just checking this video out to see what's what, please don't. Because I'm going to be giving some massive spoilers, and I do not want to do that to you. This game deserves to be played with minimal knowledge of what's going on, though fair enough, maybe a little bit of a guide to explain how to go about it would be quite useful, but you don't want to ruin the story, and you don't want to ruin the abnormalities. So with that said, I implore you to go forth and play yourself, enjoy it all on your own terms. But to all those who've been following along on our stream, I do have a little something to say to you guys. Continuing on from our first run that ended with the Army in Black, my single most hated abnormality of everything we've come across so far, having gone through well over half of them at this point, I really hope that's the worst one there is, alongside the bloody train from hell, which basically resulted in us having to restart because I will never touch that thing again the rest of my life. In our second run, we've managed to complete the upper levels of Lobotomy Corporation, only to then hit Tith again, and have our very first abnormality be the nameless fetus. Now, for those of you who don't know this one, it's incredibly bloody annoying. Basically, it's going to make every other abnormality around it break out, or you're going to have to sacrifice someone. Anyone. You don't know who. It's just someone in the department is going to go in. It gets picked by lottery, you have no control over it, and it's a guaranteed death. So suffice to say, it's not the best one to have, and definitely not something we're going to want to be keeping around. So I figured, well, I can just do this offline. Crack open a six-pack, have a little pizza, and yeah, smash through it. Learn everything we need to know, grab some equipment, then we'll restart from the beginning, train ourselves up, and get back here ready for our next stream. And originally, that was all I was going to do, and it was actually going pretty well. The plan was coming together. We managed to gain all the equipment for both Nameless Fetus and Rude Altar of the Slay. In doing so, we also basically made it to Dusk. Well, we have a mission for Dusk, one that we've been striving to complete for a darn long time. And I figured, well, why not? Let's give it a go. And here's what happened. Game bloody on. And we are ready, finally, to take on Dusk. Got ourselves a lovely little amber. Honestly, not sure what these are. I've only seen the green Dusk so far, so it's going to be our first time. Let's zoom out. We need to see everything going on where, whatever this ordeal is, that is blatantly going to just absolutely destroy us. That is one big-ass worm. Who's over here? I think I'm gonna give you some defense. Oh god, there's another! One of them's appeared behind us! This is just getting very, very bad. Every single last one spawned in here. Just got a corridor of doom. A doomador. I quite like that actually, that's kind of cool. We can get a bunch of them in. Oh, good god, that does a lot of damage if you take it on from the front. This is a long one. This is actually pretty lucky. This seems to be an ordeal that we can actually deal with. It's just a bit tedious. In fact, having the King of Greed out and about would be quite useful right now, just easing all these things as he goes. Oh, that would have been very, very useful. Excellent! Yes! Control team when Dusk falls! Right, we're calling it there. We've made our energy. We've completed the day. Holy smokes, that was a long one. 6 promotions just from constantly doing work. Oh, I can't believe that. This is coming together. Oh, we get a little bit of story as well. Oh, that's amazing. And we have a brand new... it doesn't really matter because we're probably going to have to restart this. We have, it can enter your body through any aperture. I'll hang his head over my bed. Only then can I get up in the morning without having a nightmare. Okay. We only have one we don't have. Save us now and forevermore. The truth shall set us free. Righto. To the new manager. Ah, look forward to our meetings and kind regards. Indeed. Yes, we already know this one. But we don't know this one. Oh, hello, sir. Sorry. I'm quite busy. I still haven't finished even half of what I've written down in my notebook. Hey, I heard extraction experiments are going to be conducted. When I looked over the list of participants, I couldn't find my name on it. I mean, there's probably a ton of reasons behind it. Maybe I'm just not good enough for the experiment yet. But may I join the experiment too? Oh, Elijah, I've learned a lot here. I'm sure I can help you in some way. I'll be sure to not disappoint. Malkuth, hello, manager. Or was that a memory? Malkuth, is your real name Elijah? It's sad to not have enough talent, isn't it? If someone doesn't look back towards you, what does that mean? That they don't acknowledge you? That they don't even care about what expression you may be making? That they feel no need to see what you're doing, as they've already come to a conclusion? Have you ever clawed and scraped at the floor, writhing in pain? It really does sound excruciating. And in reality, the moment I completely lost my fingernails, I felt nothing. You stare at the flesh where your fingernails used to be, and just before you lose consciousness, when you feel that you aren't yourself anymore, you start to laugh frantically. Even though it's not funny at all. And on the ground, you catch a glimpse of someone's shadow and their feet as they look down on you. Guess whose feet those were? The person who disliked looking back so much finally turned around. Everything was over. Did you see the fragments of despair from there? Were you staring at the bits of my fingernails scattered on the floor? That was the exact moment I knew true helplessness. About you, I'd never have known the feeling. Thank you so much. What is wrong with you? Now what about you, manager? Have you ever felt helpless to control anything? When unbearable things pour down from somewhere that isn't your body and overwhelm you? It just feels so awful to be helpless, being out of control of yourself. Come on, please tell me, so I can feel rewarded just a bit. Elijah was impatient. Her impatience caused many common mistakes. She once went on a long, winding filibuster of why she needed to finish the experiment. I don't remember the details. Whenever she was told that she wasn't ready yet, I could see the strong desire in her eyes. It was a craving, a bizarre obsession. If another person had been in my place, they may have turned around for the sound of her hasty footsteps. Cogito was something that she couldn't access at her level of authority. The only task she was ordered to do was record the changes that occurred to the test subjects. Malkuth did not do well, and we're A for some reason. Why are we A? Are we actually A and became B? No, B's someone else. Who are we? She was aware that at the moment, Cogito was absolutely not ready for human use. When I finally realized what was going on, half her teeth had fallen out and... Please, kill me. Ignore, ignore, ignore. Harsh. Manifestation of Quifla due to Seraph... Wait, what? Suppression of Sephira's core required. You discovered the deep scars that are inflicted upon this place. Manager, there is something I hadn't informed you of when we spoke for the first time. Sephiroth, of course, wholeheartedly want to meet you. They admire you and follow you. However, at the same time, they earnestly yearn for you to be swallowed up in resentment and curses. Please be careful with them. Well, you don't have to pay that fact too much heed if you wish. What I mean to say is you are free to go back to your daily routine. It's no big deal for me to fill their roles if some of our Sephiroth go mad. So if you do, you will lose something important forever. A seed that can break the cycle. Yesod, do you really feel nothing about this? Try drinking some enkephalin. Close your eyes, open them again. I'm glad to see that you are not as feeble-minded as the other Sephiroth. It's important to keep a clear mind in any situation. Gabriel, why are you scratching yourself so much? Seeing as we're meeting again, you must have completed your task manager. I'd give you a compliment if I didn't have so much work to do. The information team has a task they must do periodically. You must have realized that there are some blanks in the abnormality records. Among the tremendous amount of information we gather, there are some that should remain off limits to the employees for security reasons. The names of the employees are one such thing. Any trace of them, what happened, their gruesome death, their desperate will to live. All of that has been stripped from the records on the false pretense of expunging information. There's no way for me to know what the criteria for stripping the records are. They are set by another department, not us. We only manipulate the information we receive per orders. Isn't it funny? We've degenerated into a department that destroys and manipulates information as ordered, yet somehow we're still called the information team. Whenever I introduce myself as the sephira of the information team, I sometimes feel something bubbling up inside of me. Yesod, did you receive the documents to expunge? You will get the list of employees soon as well. Please do not forget to review it after you've finished expunging the documents. Miss Angela, what do you think it means to remember someone's name? This is the work you regularly do. Are you so emotional about it today? Maybe names were marks atypical beings gave each other to engrave each other upon their memories. Some might have named you Angela following the same concept. Yesod, if you happen to be tired, please take a break. I knew you would say that. Referring to employees by name is not recommended here. When employees first enter the company, each one receives their own unique identification number. This is to allow the company to identify them using the minimum amount of personal information. We have their numbers in our data storage devices. Malchus has never called the employees by their names ever since she started working here. She is the most ideal sephira amongst all us Sephiroth. It's not to say that Malkuth deserves to take all the pain as well. None of us do. What kind of poor taste is that? To lock us inside metal bodies and throw us into an endless loop of days that feel just the same as yesterday. Talking to you. What's with that oblivious expression? I heard you might be one of the architects responsible for our creation. The only thing I could do here is remember the names of a few forgotten employees and eternally despair. Feeling nauseous from even a single breath of air. Have you had fun watching your guinea pigs run around in circles? See? I told you. I have been rotting from the inside for a long time. Gabriel was more rational than anyone else. He was unmoved after hearing about what happened to Elijah. Some said he lacked empathy. Nobody realized that his emotions were festering on the inside. Maybe he began falling apart from long ago, since Carmen left this world. He slowly became expressionless, and allowed himself to have even a paltry joy. He also couldn't stand having even the smallest part of his body exposed. We made a monster that was not supposed to exist in this world. Went too far to ever turn back. Do not let what Elijah did be in vain. Instead of taking the time to grieve, everyone knew they needed to utilize this result to the fullest. He tried to maintain a facade of level-headedness, but his attempts to remain rational slowly morphed into an obsession. He started to wear long-sleeve clothing that also covered his neck, on which later, he started to scratch himself harshly. We suggested he receive a complete medical examination to see whether he was contaminated or had an infection, but he refused. Enforce the procedure. Health checkups were needed to prevent further damage. Persuasion became coercion, and coercion led to the use of physical force. He was tied and bound for the checkup, but he resisted so desperately that it was hard for us to watch him. Eventually, it turned out that he wasn't infected at all. Was that really fortunate though? No, it wasn't. The examination did not resolve anything. He kept scratching himself, so harshly, even worse than before. When I saw him last, he wasn't lucid or cognizant to any human speech, and his body was completely covered in scratches. I've seen him since. All the cores are going off. Don't worry, Hod. That's a very common side effect when you first take enkephalin. It's just like a light hallucination. It'll disappear after 2 or 3 times, so don't worry too much. For me, it was an employee whose face had half melted, crawled over my feet and grabbed me by the shoulders, asking me why I let her die. That wasn't a hallucination or anything. Then what? You trying to say that dead employees are suddenly coming back to life? You know, like, unbelievable things happen here, so maybe it is possible for dead employees to come back, as if nothing happened, right? I'm not in any state to say this, but you don't look too good. Why didn't you skip today's meeting? I can't do that. We have an abnormality response training today. They need me to run the drill properly. Really something, huh? I don't think there's another sephira here who cares about their employees as much as you do. Right? Look, Tiffany, I was right. I'm a good person. I'm a good sephira. Hello everyone. Today we will... Are you still trying to play the good sephira? Be focusing on abnormality response training. Times do I have to tell you, you're only a sad piece of rusty scrap metal putting on the act of being a good person. Now I want everyone to pay close attention here. The abnormality we'll suppress today needs to be handled a bit differently than the others. You hope that living such a lie would erase your conscience. That's really selfish. Starting now, I will be explaining the method I devised. Please listen carefully. At least the other sephirot are humble enough to admit that they're not perfect. Quiet! Oh, sorry. Where were we? Excuse me, Miss Hod, I have a question. Yes, what is it? Do you think that this training will make any difference? I mean... Against that long bird, it feels like whoever will die or live is all predetermined. There's nothing we can do to change it. Well, it should yield a better result than just doing nothing. At the very least, we can prepare a preventative measure rather than just wait helplessly to... It's just all about luck. We'd be better off and more comfortable to simply accept that we can die at any moment while working. Just know this. You won't reach that paradise no matter what you do. I'm doing this all for you guys, even the counseling campaign. Now that you mention it, that compulsory counseling campaign is such a pain. I'd rather have a break time instead. Why is our department the only one that has to deal with these programs? Keep repeating itself. Live with eternal sorrow and remorse in that metal mass. That metal mass. Well, all of you would be dead by now if I hadn't helped you. Why aren't you thanking me? Do you want me to get rid of you like Malchus does? Before you even make the littlest complaint? Don't you say that I'm the bad one here. Are you finally admitting your awful nature? Tiffany, why are you doing this to me? I'm not Tiffany. Look at me. Can't you even distinguish your own voice anymore? Yes. Are you still having that sweet nightmare? When I read the article detailing Michelle's end, it was just as our experiment was starting to show some progress. Michelle was the youngest among us. She was a timid and innocent employee. Made her an easy target. Maybe it was her fate to be used as a pawn of the wings that were alert to us, or of the head that would watch over us constantly. Likely didn't know things would go the way they did. I think that a punky kid like you would bring about our demise. Never have believed the situation would end up so much worse than your intentions. Probably tried to comfort yourself in the end. Telling yourself that you did the best you could, but in this world, in that moment, wasn't any other option for you. But Carmen was the person who was trying to change this world, the world you resigned yourself to. If we meet again in hell, will I finally be able to forgive you? Crumple the newspaper. It is all kicking off. Wait, do we have a choice? Is this what's going on? Guess we expand the central level. So we have sephira meltdowns, and we have brand new abnormalities. This is going to be a lot. This is going to be a lot indeed. Button to initiate the suppression of a sephira's core will not appear unless all of the sephira's mission and dialogue are completed. Conditions not met will be shown upon a grayed out department button if the conditions are not satisfied. All conditions shown below need to be satisfied before the suppression can begin. When all conditions for a sephira core suppression are met, the button on the top left of the department will become active. Click on the sephira core suppression department button, all employees assigned to that department will be removed and placed into standby. The conditions and handicaps of the suppression will be shown. Begin management button will be replaced with a begin core suppression button. Click to start the suppression. Well, we have options for free core suppressions, interestingly not for the safety team, because we need to clear HODS mission 5? We've done all of them. Interesting. Go on though, this will be where we pick up for our stream, because we've got a horrible setup here in the central command. We'll have to see what the other two are. In fact, let's just make a little start. Management, so we can restart the day. We have a book, demonic book, and a very unhappy chapper in a red hood. This is going to be interesting. Go on though, we've got all that going on, plus some suppressions. So let's get on the suppressions. I want to know what happens. Will we survive? That's the big question. I look forward to see you all to see if we can survive these suppressions, and hopefully we can get a restart in, because I do want to restart and get rid of this fetus, but yeah, I think we might just kind of have to push forward a little bit more, or possibly just accept it. It's a really suckish one to have. Maybe if we just like try and keep the level 5 staying in here, keep it under control. Just at any point, if it freaks out, it's going to freak out every single... Well, it says all the ones around it, doesn't it? Maybe after a moment, terminal crowd stops. Crying state would go. Complain of a headache. Thermal call for counts of all nearby abnormalities gradually decreased over time. So yeah, anything else that goes in here is going to be set off by this. So that's a really bad place to have it. That's all to figure out soon. Well, thank you very much for watching. I do look forward to you all joining for the stream as we take on these core suppressions. The moment has finally come where we can actually see the truth behind each of these sephira. Till then, as always, peace out.